Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Insider Report. Here we talk about characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on and off screen. I'm your host, Andrew Lawler, aka Barry. Let's get on with the show. Stephen Grant Rogers, also known as Steve Rogers, is a World War II veteran, a founding member of the Avengers, and Earth's first known superhero. Rogers grew up suffering from numerous health problems, and upon the United States' entry into World War II, he was rejected from serving in the United States Army despite several attempts to enlist. Rogers ultimately volunteered for Project Rebirth, where he was the only recipient of the super soldier serum developed by Abraham Erskine, under the Strategic Scientific Reserve. The serum greatly enhanced Rogers' physical abilities to superhuman levels. After Erskine's assassination and being doubted by SSR head director Chester Phillips, Rogers was relegated to performing in war-bound campaigns, where he posed as a patriotic mascot under the moniker of Captain America. In 1943, Rogers rejoined the SSR after single-handedly liberating Allied prisoners from a Hydra base, after which he began leading his team of Howling Commandos in many operations against Hydra. His World War II exploits made Rogers a living legend, and during this time he also formed a close relationship with SSR agent Peggy Carter. Rogers ultimately helped the Allies win the war and defeat Hydra's leader Red Skull, but crashed into the Arctic during his final mission to stop a plane carrying bombs bound for the United States. Rogers then spent 66 years unconscious and frozen in ice under a state of suspended animation, before he was eventually found by S.H.I.E.L.D. in the early 21st century. When he awoke, Rogers found himself alone in a modern world that he hardly recognized, with no idea what to do with his life. Following Loki's theft of the Tesseract from S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury enlisted Rogers' help in retrieving the Tesseract and stopping Loki from destroying the world. Joining the Avengers, Rogers played a key role in the Battle of New York, successfully stopping the invasion, capturing Loki, and reacquiring the Tesseract. Rogers then joined S.H.I.E.L.D. as a counter-terrorist operative. While uncovering a conspiracy inside the organization, he encountered the Winter Soldier, and discovered that Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., intending to use Project Insight as a way to bring about a despotic new world order. He then learned that Winter Soldier was his best friend Bucky Barnes, who was believed to be killed in action, but had since been physically enhanced and brainwashed by Hydra. Alongside Black Widow, Maria Hill, and Falcon, Rogers then ended the Hydra uprising at the Battle at the Triskelion. Rogers and the Avengers reassembled and embarked in an all-out war against Hydra, recapturing the Scepter and capturing Baron Strucker. After Ultron, the new peacekeeping artificial intelligence program designed by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner had went rogue, Rogers and the Avengers rallied to stop it from exterminating humanity. Ultron was ultimately defeated during the Battle of Sokovia, after which several of the original Avengers departed, leaving Rogers and Romanoff to lead and train the new Avengers team. The new Avengers conducted several international missions, but failed to avert a catastrophic incident while on assignment to capture Crossbones in Nigeria. The United Nations used the disaster to ratify the Sokovia Accords, but Rogers saw their draconian nature and refused to sign, resulting in a rift between himself and Avengers co-leader Tony Stark. After the Accords' ratification was bombed, with Bucky Barnes resurfacing as the primary suspect, Rogers and his anti-Accord allies became fugitives of the law while assisting in his escape. Upon learning Helmut Zemo was the true mastermind, Rogers fought against Stark and his pro-Accord allies before confronting Zemo in Siberia. When Zemo revealed Barnes' role in the assassination of Howard and Maria Stark, Rogers came to Barnes' defense once an enraged Stark tried to attack him. They engaged in a fierce fight with Stark and emerged the victor. But with the Avengers deeply divided, Rogers eventually rescued some of his anti-Accord associates from the raft, and had Barnes sent to Wakanda to be cured of his brainwashing. This video is brought to you by Dubby. Hi, I'm Andrew Lawler. Do you want to feel like a superhero? The Insider Report has partnered with a new company called Dubby. Dubby is an emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time, with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, sugar, fillers, artificial colors, or dyes. Dubby's mission statement is to empower small and upcoming streamers by working alongside them and assisting them to grow and flourish. They plan to provide more solutions for gamers that go further than just energy drinks. You can get your hands on these quality energy drinks by going to this link, www.dubby.gg, and use my coupon code TIR2024 to get 10% off your order. Both the link and the code will be in the description. Now, back to the video. Rogers, Black Widow, Falcon, and Wanda Maximoff continued to be fugitives from the law. But when Thanos and his Black Order attacked Earth seeking the Infinity Stones, Rogers emerged from hiding in order to protect Vision. Rogers had Vision brought to Wakanda and came to the country's defense when it was attacked by the Order with an onslaught of Outriders. Captain America failed to stop Thanos from taking the Mind Stone and wiping out half the universe's population. Rogers survived and journeyed through space to planet 0259S, where the Avengers killed Thanos. 5 years after the snap, Rogers and his fellow Avengers eventually found a way to safely travel through time, returning to various points in the past to amass all 6 Infinity Stones, making amends with Tony Stark in the process. The stones were used to initiate the blip, and he resumed the mantle of Captain America once more to participate in the Battle of Earth, where he discovered he was deemed worthy of Mjolnir, wielding it in combat against Thanos and his army from an alternate timeline. After Stark sacrificed his life to wipe out Thanos' forces, Rogers volunteered to return the stones to their respective timelines. He opted to return and remain in the 1940s, where he married Peggy Carter. Rogers grew old and reunited with his friends in the present, entrusting Sam Wilson with his mantle and shield. Rogers entered retirement, with his current whereabouts unknown to the general public. As Captain America, Steve Rogers carries a nearly indestructible shield fashioned from the rare Wakandan metal known as vibranium. Designed and crafted by genius inventor Howard Stark during World War II, the shield is a perfectly balanced instrument capable of withstanding intense stress and damage, yet also able to be thrown as an offensive weapon that rebounds back to its owner. Rogers maintains the shield as an almost constant companion after it was recovered from the wreckage of the Red Skull's airplane, as it has become a symbol of strength to all those who recognize Captain America as the country's defender. Rogers is also well versed in the use of firearms, though he rarely carries or uses them in modern times. His famous Captain America suit and helmet have been updated more than once since the 1940s, and offers him some protection against the elements and enemies alike. Steve Rogers' first real enemy took the form of Johann Schmidt, a German scientist and wartime leader of the Nazi science division, Hydra. Schmidt became known as the Red Skull after a failed attempt to augment himself using Dr. Erskine's super soldier serum. The serum devolved his features into a crimson skull-like countenance. His obsession with power led him to gain possession of the Tesseract, an otherworldly power source of unparalleled energy, and split off of Hydra from Hitler's forces. The Red Skull met his match, though, in Captain America. The hero dodged the villain throughout the war until Schmidt's apparent demise in his own aircraft high above the North Atlantic. Arnim Zola, a scientist under the Red Skull's command, managed to survive the war by supposedly allying himself with the Allies and the newly created SHIELD. But in reality, he kept the dream of Hydra alive all the while. When his own death approached, Zola transferred his consciousness into a SHIELD computer to continue to be a thorn in Captain America's side in the present. Other modern-day menaces for Steve Rogers include Asgardian god of mischief Loki, mercenary and martial artist Georges Batroc, and weapons dealer Brock Rumlow, aka Crossbones. Captain America has also come face to face with the fearsome threat of Thanos, doing all he can to stop the Titan in his quest to end half the life in the universe. Steve Rogers' forthright attitude and positive disposition has attracted a select group of people into his inner circle of friends. His longest companion is James Buchanan Bucky Barnes, who Rogers met in his Hell's Kitchen neighborhood in New York and formed a close friendship with. Despite Barnes' enlistment in the Army and Rogers' career as Captain America during the war, the two found each other and united to form a solid battlefront against the Axis. When Barnes seemingly fell to his death, Steve Rogers felt as if a brother had been taken from him. Though his time with Peggy Carter was comparatively short to his friendship with Bucky Barnes, Rogers' feelings toward the capable young woman had begun to blossom into a romance before his crash into the Atlantic. The two reunited in the present day, but Carter's advanced age and her weakening health prevented them from continuing what they had begun during the war. Regardless, Rogers maintained his connection with the woman until her death from natural causes, and looks forward to what the future may bring with his relationship to Sharon Carter, Peggy's great niece and SHIELD's Agent 13. Through their partnership in the Avengers and SHIELD, Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff have formed a friendship, something the infamous Black Widow does not offer lightly. Despite moments of Rogers' distrust of Romanoff's decisions and her prodding of him to fully embrace the modern world, an underlying understanding exists between the two heroes. Captain America has also formed a bond with Sam Wilson, also known as the Falcon, who has shown intense loyalty to Rogers. His relationship with Iron Man, Tony Stark, remains a difficult one to categorize, given the rift the two have had. Alright everyone, that will be all for today's show. I hope you learned something new today and enjoyed learning more about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're new at this channel, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. Please stick around to the end to see some upcoming episodes, some previous ones in case you missed them. I'm Barry, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.